All right, you've been waiting all week to fish. Your friends have been sending you pictures of their catches while you've been grinding away at work. Let's say, I don't know, maybe your brother's a guide and fishes constantly, or your father-in-law, who's one of your close fishing buddies, is retired and also might have a lot of time to spend on the water. But not you, you're working away. But the time has come. The work week is finally over. Your gear is ready, you're stoked, then boom, bad weather hits. The water's blown out, the rain won't stop, and when you show up to the river, it looks like this. Suddenly, your fishing dreams are dashed. So what do you do when you need to fish, but everything conspires against you, like weather, your job, just plain bad luck? Because if you're anything like me, not fishing for long stretches can really make you start to feel a little edgy, and the people that are around you are going to notice. So when you're faced with the disappointment of not being able to go fishing or doing something else fun outdoors when you've been planning on it for a while, it's important to be able to adapt and stay positive. Let's talk through some ideas. First things first, if weather is the reason that you're not going fishing, specifically the water conditions as a result of the weather, you could just choose to go fishing anyway. If you know that there are fish in the body of water that you're planning to go fishing in, you can still get a bite. It is totally possible. If you know that there are fish there, this will be a recurring theme. You always have some possibility. That really isn't the question at hand, though. Question at hand is that worth your time? And that is something that only you can answer for yourself. So if you really feel the itch to get out there and wet a line, get on the water, go for it. If that's going to make you feel good, whether or not you catch a fish, rock and roll. Been there, done that. Done it many times, expecting to get zero fish, caught zero fish doing it, and felt pretty good about it. Done it plenty of times and felt pretty poorly about how I spent my time. That's entirely up to you. One caveat. Make sure that you stay safe out there. Sometimes these water conditions, yeah, it's bad for fishing, but they can get over that threshold and become unsafe for you and the people you're with. So don't do that. But hey, if you want to get out there, regardless how the water looks, regardless of what you think your odds are, go for it. For me, oftentimes, if I see the water look like chocolate milk and it is just roaring, I'm sure that some experts out there can still go out and catch a bass or two. For me, it tends to be a waste of time, and I don't feel good about going out there and giving that a shot when I have plenty of other things that I know I could do and probably should be doing a lot of the time. So the first thing that I try to do when my fishing plans get ruined might be the most obvious, which is just simply find alternative ways to get outside and stay connected with nature. The activities that I like to do most, and this happens mostly in the fall and winter, that's when our rains are really heavy and really consistent in the Pacific Northwest, is things like go grouse hunting. Go to the range, practice shooting, do some reloading, stock those ammo piles back up. Grab the dogs, go out to an old logging road, so long as the snow line isn't too low and it's too nasty, and just simply walk if I can't do any other things. These provide very similar mental health benefits as fishing, like getting that fresh air, just being in nature, getting a sense of accomplishment. These are all the things that I look for in fishing and give me that recharge that I need after a long week. So if fishing doesn't work out, there are alternatives. But to be frank, sometimes nothing really replaces getting your hands on your gear and being connected with fishing when that really is what you want to be doing. So these are good times to just use the downtime to be productive for your fishing. If you're like a lot of guys I go with, not me, I'm actually quite good at putting all my stuff away, but a lot of guys will just toss their tackle and their gear back in the tackle bag when they're done with it at the end of the day, and that can become a disorganized mess pretty quickly. Organize your tackle box. Maybe, heck, even label some things. Check your inventory, see what lures you're missing, see what weights, swivels, hooks you're low on. Make note of that. Maybe even just place the order online. Go to your local tackle store, see what's going on, see what fish are biting, see if anybody's having success in the nasty weather or whatever's keeping you from fishing. This is also a great time to put on some new line. It's not my favorite chore to do. I imagine many of you feel the same, and we might let our braid go way longer than it should. Get that replaced. This is also a great time to practice knots you use regularly, or if you are so inclined and want to learn a new knot, learn a new knot. If you have the space nearby, or maybe even in your own yard, you can always practice your casting, depending again if the weather's keeping you from that. I also find this kind of downtime to be particularly good for researching new fishing spots or researching existing fishing spots. And what I mean by that is I might be wanting to find a new place to go fish. And so I'm just kind of looking for new lakes, rivers, bodies of water, somewhat nearby that I might put on my list of things to go check out. Or I might do something like hop on Google Earth, download the desktop version so you can get the history, go back in time, and you can see different water levels that'll expose a lot of things in a water body you might fish regularly. And then you can chart a plan for the next time you're there and make the most out of your time on the water. So beyond doing research around your local waters, you can look at things like new fish species you might want to target, what that would take, where they are, new techniques if you're interested in checking out something new. Find a good fishing book. There's plenty out there. You can do some reading around that, watch some videos on YouTube, find a great fishing podcast. Hopefully, maybe this can be on your list. Education around what you might want to do is a great way to spend this downtime. So, and I would also encourage you to journal ideas for future trips, make plans, make strategies. Like I said, chart out a body of water, get organized. At least for me, these are great ways to feel like I'm staying connected to my fishing without being able to actually get out on the water. And finally, perhaps the best for last, perhaps not. This one took me a little while to embrace. Maybe this is just nature's way of giving you an opportunity to focus on other responsibilities you might have. I don't know about you. I have definitely let fishing take my life out of balance once or twice in the past. I'm pretty sure it'll happen again. And I have found myself spending way too much time on the water, way too much time organizing that tackle and all the other things I just mentioned to you all. And I really try to look at these moments as nature just telling me, hey, maybe it's time that I should focus on something else in my life and restore that balance. Maybe it's maintaining my home, spending time with the wife. Who knows? You know that better than anybody. If nothing else, maybe this is just nature's way of giving you the opportunity to catch up on other important things of life that maybe you haven't been thinking about as much lately. So I hope that any of these ideas help even a little bit next time you have that painful disappointment from fishing plans falling through. It will happen. If it's happened to you, it'll happen again. It is just part of the sport. It's part of life. It's part of the balance we all have to achieve. And while some of these ideas might be a little bit straightforward, I just hope that everybody understands that if you do have this experience on a regular basis when you can't get out and fish as often as you'd like, you are not alone, not at all. And in fact, I'm sure many of you have come up with some great ideas of your own in your experience to manage these situations. And I would love to hear what you all do to stay connected to fishing when you can't actually fish. Let us know in the comments. Tag End is here to be a resource for anglers that experience this kind of stuff. Yes, we'll get into bait, tackle techniques, do all that fun stuff, but the primary focus of this channel is just talking about the pros, the cons of fishing, how to stay balanced, how to keep it fun, how to keep it enjoyable. I hope we helped you do that. If you liked it, please consider subscribing to the channel. If you need some tackle in a simplified, streamlined way, check out tagendtackle.com for gear inspiration. See y'all out on the water.